but it's not tangible. You have to believe it when you cannot see it. You gotta be possessed with the dream. The dream.
What is up? Straight from the Chest Podcast, guys. I am your host, Justin Groth. Guys, this is a beautiful Wednesday because it's hump day, it's carb day, it's high carb day for me. Man, I love it, and I got my cheap coffee. For those of you who are watching, you can see this. This is a vanilla latte. I only have this, guys, on my cheat day or my high carb days, which are Wednesday and Sunday, and I look forward to it. Oh my gosh. But I've actually cut coffee out of my life because I'm just frankly tired of the stains in my teeth. I don't want to stain my teeth. So I cut coffee out. I only have it on these couple days of the week. And then when I'm done with it, I'm immediately brushing my teeth. I don't want stains. Do not want stains. It's definitely unattractive. But guys, we're continuing with the segment, We're Not Friends. And we are not friends if you're the kind of person that leans up against people's cars. We're not friends. Why do you think that's acceptable? To lean up against someone's car, someone's property that's not yours. And it doesn't matter if it's a nice car or something that someone just pulled out of the junkyard. If I'm driving it, don't touch it. Don't lean up against it. It's not your property. In fact, if there's not an energy wave or aura that washes over you when you start to lean up against somebody's car as if you're invading their space, even though their physical being is not there, there's something wrong with you, because that's literally someone else's property. You're just leaning up against like a no big deal. Dude, so disrespectful, A, and B, just not, in my mind, not right. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a nice car, like I said, or a junker. Don't lean up against someone else's car like it's your property. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Get real. Guys, stay away from people's cars, lean up against them. It's not your shit. Stay away, period. And I'm going to take this a step further. If you ride in the car with somebody, don't put your feet anywhere other than the floor mats. That includes the glove box. That includes the windshield. That includes the window seal on the passenger side or whatever. Guys, your feet are meant to be on the ground. Keep your feet on the ground. So if you do any of those things, guys, I'm sorry. We're not friends. Moving on. I wanted to talk about this for a while now. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear me guzzling that down. That's the vanilla latte. So, if I were to ask you guys, what is the one thing that you think right now, if you had the ability to change it, what would you want to change in your life? If there was a genie to come down and grant you one wish, the thing that you could change or have, what would that be? And I think for most of us, including myself, we wouldn't think about the big picture. We would think about the here and now. It would be very situational. It would be something that we desire. Or if let's say we're in debt, we're immensely in debt, it would probably be to get out of debt, right? Or it would probably be to get a house, or to buy this nice fancy car that we wanted, or to travel, or something. It would be very situational, it would be very in the moment, right? Most of us wouldn't be thinking about our future. Most of us wouldn't be thinking about, what do I need right now that's going to set me up so I can expand and change the trajectory of my life for the next 30, 40 years? Most of us would be thinking right here and now. Including myself, I honestly want to say that. Including myself, maybe up until the last year or so, I'd be thinking right here and now. Like, let me get a house. Let me, a family. Let me start that chapter of my life. And it kind of reminds me of the saying, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. And that should really be the format that we look at. What is going to set us up so we can continue to eat for the rest of our life, not being dependent on others or our circumstances that we're in, that dictate whether or not or how we react to certain situations. And I think a lot of it stems around us not being real. So if we were to have one thing be granted our direction or given to us, I think that one thing should be to be able to have the courage to be real. Real with ourselves, real with the people around us, real with what our investments should be, real with what we want to put our energy into. Because a lot of the things that we place our energy into are useless. And if you take an inventory right now of your life, kind of audit your life, I bet you come across some things that you're putting energy into that are needless or futile or fleeting. And you could do without. And the reason why you're doing those things, if you look at the reasons why or the expressions that are driving you towards those needless or futile things, I bet you it's because of an image, or it's because of a person that you're trying to impress, or it's because of a thing that you think you want because he or she has it over here, or because what you think that is what measures society in terms of it's what you think society measures its importance on, rather. But really, it's not what you want. It's not really what you are if you're being real with yourself. So what are you doing if you're not being real? What are you doing if you're not being real with who you are, with what you've been given? Because let's be honest, everybody's been given something. Everybody. Even the bum that you see on the side of the road. And I don't mean to say bum like that's kind of derogatory, I feel. I shouldn't say that. The homeless person you see on the side of the road, even he or she has been given a talent. It may not be showcased with the position that they're in, but they're definitely given something. You and I have been given something, but see, we always get it clouded with what others have, what we think we want based on what others have. And we're not being real with who we are. And slowly but surely, our talents start to disintegrate. And when I say disintegrate, I mean they start to suppress. The need to make them a reality start to suppress, as well as the ability to capitalize on them. And so we start to slowly move away from what we're innately good at and start to gravitate towards things we're kind of good at, not really though. And I always say that you're great at being you. You're your best at being you. You can, and it is, I don't know, as traditional or cliche as that sounds, if you take the meaning out of the expression, you're great at being who you are, meaning you suck at being anybody else, dude. You suck at being anybody else. But you're great at being you. So if you can just manage you and be real with you and everything that you do and every conversation that you have, and that's the big thing. Every conversation you have, because you have many conversations a day. If you're real with every conversation you have, with every person that's in front of you, you're slowly positioning yourself into that pattern of deriving realness out of everything that you do. And it starts with people. It starts with how you talk to people. It starts with how you talk to yourself, right? It'll transition in how you talk to yourself. Or vice versa. How you talk to yourself transitions to how you talk to people. And if you can continuously reiterate the factor of reality, or not reality, realness to you, then you'll have a leg up. And you'll consistently be gravitating towards the things that are conducive of just you. And just you being you, and the real you. I mean the real, raw, authentic you. But we have tendencies, myself included, to just gravitate towards what we think is popular, what we know works, what we know is entertaining, and we get lost in the process of the devotion towards who we are in our real form. That is something that can rob you of everything that was meant for you. Everything. All of your surplus in the future, any kind of materialistic surplus, any kind of philanthropic surplus that you could give and extend to others, that's going to be taken from that. If you're not capitalizing on the real, raw version of you, you'll lose those things. You may gain other things in the process, but guys, just like let's bring it back to the time that I asked you, if you were to be granted one thing, what would it be? Would it be situational? Or would it be more towards your future? What would you want in that moment? What would you want to be granted to you? Because I can tell you the situational thing is going to be temporary. And it may be a momentary feeling of bliss, and you may be grateful for it, but it doesn't mean that's going to transfer into the development of the real you that's going to feed you a lifetime. And it starts with where you're at right now. And it's never too late to start this. Guys, I've just started this like a few years ago. It took me that long. Because just like you, I was suppressed. Not knowing what my real voice was. Not knowing where I was meant to be, or what I was positioned into being. But if I listened to the passions that I had, it all aligned around one centering crux, which was people. And my involvement and my connection and my ability to change others. I can't think of a different word. To change others. Now, albeit you're not going to change everybody. You're not going to be a light to everybody. And that's okay. But that also comes with some strength as well. Because knowing that you're a fixer, knowing you're not going to fix everybody, you have to be okay with that. You have to develop the resiliency to have rejection in your life. And none of us like rejection, but rejection comes because not everybody's going to be receptive to what you're saying or really care about it. They might be thinking, I don't like what you're wearing. I don't like the way your face looks. I don't like your tone of voice, so I don't want to listen to you. And none of that matters, because to the few people that you may be rejected by, there will be 1,000 people that will receive you, and you will actually make an impact on their life, and that's what matters. But it doesn't happen overnight. It only comes with the course of you developing your real, raw self, and that is going to come at a penalty. And that penalty is the removal of certain people and or things in your life that you developed a crutch with. I know people that are here right now with you, they're only here because you're your fake you. If you were your real you, like you innately want to be, they probably wouldn't be able to handle you. And that's the hard truth. That's a big pill to swallow, but that's the truth. The only reason why you're around the people that you're around possibly right now, I mean, I'm not talking to everybody, this is only for a select few people, is because they can handle the fake you. Because that's all you give them. You give them a disguise. You give them an act to some degree. But if they knew who you were internally, you know that they'd find fault in that and they wouldn't be able to hang around with you. You know that if they knew all the quirks that you had, all the little imbalances and idiosyncrasies that make you, you know that they wouldn't put up with that. And they would actually frown upon that, and they might even make fun of you and fault you for that and not be your friend. And you know that. So you stick around, but you stick around in a disguised, masked presence. And that is only taking you so far. And in the meantime, it's disintegrating your real character. The real character that's going to bring you out and develop everything that you were called to be, that's being suppressed only because you care more about what Sheila or Karen or John thinks of you in the situational moments that you have with them. No one is worth that. No one. Because you're dying in the process. You're dying in the process of you disguising who you are. Your disguise is killing you. Your disguise is becoming your death. And if you don't realize this right now, every single day that goes on, you die a little more. And your whole entire life should be about your resurrecting of the talents that you have in you. The resurrection from what you were suppressed with to what you know to be true. And you're bringing that out. That is what life is about. Because if we're honest, everybody is suppressed at a young age. I mean, not everybody. Most people are suppressed at a young age by the school systems, by what your parents want you to fit into, what kind of frame your parents want you to fit into. All of it's a level of suppression. So we're all trying to resurrect from that suppressed state that we're in. Some people have it easier than others. But we are all trying to find what we're good at. We're all trying to find where we're needed. Because we all have an innate desire to feel needed and wanted. Your consistent, unapologetic, authentic, and unpolished character is what the world needs more of. It doesn't need you to fit into a compartment over here with the rest of all these people. It needs you to bring out what God placed in you, even at the expense of some longtime friends or albeit idols. Because at the end, it's only about your legacy. It's only about how people remembered you and how you made people feel when you were around them. That is what your life is about. So if you can't develop your real, raw, unpolished self, what are you doing?